Welcome back. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome to Actually Aubery, and we're going to get started with Ready to Love. And we're going to add in Jeremy to the stream.
Hey,
Jeremy, how you doing?
I'm good. Like I'm too close.
Okay, we're gonna fix that. Okay, and then now we're gonna add in welcome to the stream, Alex W. Leath.
Jeremy, you're too close. You're still too close. Move further away. You see that other room back there? Go back there.
You silly. You need to stop. You and your not so fresh jokes.
This is going to be the Jeremy Speaks Hour. You know why? Because his girl Sabrina showed her entire behind.
Oh, now you got a point there. You got a point there. Hey, a little yeah, Jeremy, take it over.
Okay. Hey everybody. Oh wait, let me move on to the comment section. But hey everybody. My name is Jeremy Speaks. I'm gonna be leading the leading the panel for tonight.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get started here. So we started off the episode with the men's in the men's lounge, and basically Tommy is telling the man how Tina didn't show up, and I don't know how necessarily much I believe that Tina was supposed to be there. I was like, I don't know, but he tells the men that it's time for the girls to meet their family. Now, how do you guys feel about the women meeting the family like now? Do you guys think that it's too soon, or should they be meeting the family? What do you guys think about that?
It's just another test, and I think it's a test that, the family is always the ones who you turn to when there's issues with a relationship. When you first fall in love, you go to your family and let them know. So they're typically, other than maybe yourself, they're your biggest critics. And typically also people from the outside can see more looking in than you can when you're in the situation. So that's what that is.
I don't know. I was always raised that you don't talk to your family about your relationship.
Not about all of them. No. If you was like me and had too many, you can't talk to your mom
I'm talking about even if you're having problems, because while you sitting here telling your family all of the stuff that your significant other is putting you through, when y'all talk it out and y'all are on good terms, the family's still mad because they're not the ones who seeing when things are going good. They only see what you tell them. So I don't know.
Yeah, that part I agree with you 100%. This is just a meeting to meet the family. But as far as keeping them out your business, I agree 100%.
Mm-hmm. Right. I was going to say, if you're asking me, Jeremy, how do I feel about it? I think it's a normal part of dating. I think when you get serious with someone, it's a normal part of dating for them to meet your family. If a guy hasn't introduced me to his family and we've been dating for a while, I'm going to start to feel some kind of way, and I'm going to question him about it. If you're serious, if you're just having, physical affairs, then that's not the person you want to take home to meet your parents. But if you're serious, and that's what this show is supposedly allegedly about, Ready to Love, so quite naturally, you should meet the family. And to what you're saying, I agree with both of you that it doesn't mean that you put your family in your business. They just have a frame of reference as to who you're dating and who you're serious about.
Okay, I see. Yeah. So the first couple that we're going to discuss is none other than Clifton and Joy. They ended up meeting Clifton's cousins. I was like, them some old cousins. Them cousins, they his parents. I was like, what is going on here? But
the gentleman was an uncle. He was an uncle.
Yeah,
he was no, they were both cousins. They were both his.
No, it said on the show that was his uncle, and the lady was his cousin.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Joy ends up showing up, still looking like she lounging at the house. I don't know why Joy dresses the way that she does, but she shows up there and she ends up, meeting them. And we ended up finding out something really shocking, that after she wraps up the show, that she has to go to Mexico for 6 months at a time, and she actually alternates like like biannually between Mexico and the United States. So how do you guys think that that will work for their relationship?
That's difficult. I was trying to get some clarity on that myself, whether it was 6 straight months she's out, that she's home 6 straight months. Is it every other month? Is it every 2 months she's out, then back home? I'm trying to figure out how that dynamic plays out because if she's gone for 6 straight months, it's almost like being with a military spouse.
Mhm.
If she's going to be gone 6 straight months, and Clifton's already he's a big guy. He may not seem this way, but he's a very insecure man. Okay. So if she's gone 6 months, his mind will start running amok after a while. I don't think that will work for them, being that he has issues already with, her talking to an ex and being friends with an ex and different kind of things, showing his insecurity and kinks in his armor. That
Mhm.
wouldn't work for them long term,
Right.
in my opinion.
And how do you feel about what Joy also said, as far as like she didn't expect to have somebody fulfill all of her qualifications in a man, that she didn't have to discuss or anything else like that? And she's basically saying that they're at a point now where they're willing to risk, the relationship and start dating, even though that she lives partially in Mexico.
You know what? It's easy to say that for all relationships in the beginning, because in the beginning we all go through this honeymoon stage. And that honeymoon stage can last a year, 2 years, maybe three, and then after a while, reality will start to rear its ugly head. Life will intervene. So the question
Mhm.
is, can you stand the test of time after the honeymoon period is over? So they can say that now because they all over each other. They're on a show. It's fresh. It's new. But when it's just them, cameras are off, no one cares anymore. Real life has came in. That's what's going to tell. That's the true test right there. And I think
Yeah.
that's going to be very challenging for them.
And what do you think, Miss Aubery?
You know, repeat the question. I honestly had to go check on the chicken in the oven. Could you repeat the question?
I was saying, what do you think about her partially living in Mexico, coming onto the show, and ended up finding this connection, and they're willing
Right.
to embark on a journey, even though she
I
technically doesn't live in the area for 6 months at a time.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So I don't think that was a good idea. I think it sounds almost like she basically kind of selfishly took a spot away from somebody else that lives in the area. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and then certainly if you were going to be on the show and that was the situation, then that should have been stated up front. Now, whether she told him off camera or not, because we know that they've been talking and they seem like they had this almost instant chemistry. So now whether she may have told him or not, and we just don't know it as the viewers, I don't know. But yeah, I think kind of to me, basically, she took a spot from somebody who lives in the area. That's the way I see it.
From the looks of it, it looks like he wasn't surprised when she said it. So I'm pretty sure they talked
Mm-mm.
about it before. But it seemed surprising to the family. The family ended up really liking Sabrina. I mean, not Sabrina, but Joy, and feeling that Joy was very sincere. That
Mm-hmm.
Joy really liked Clifton, which none of us, I don't think none of us denies her, her love for Clifton. But I guess I'm just a little bit confused as to 6 months you're out of the country and then 6 months you here. So you're
Mm-hmm.
telling me throughout the 6 months that you are in the country, the first thing that you decided to do was sign up for Ready to Love. To me, I don't
Mm.
know why that, I was like, out of all the stuff that you could do during the 6 months that you're in the country, signing up for Ready to Love is it. Like, you don't
And
have a stable foundation here anyway for you to be getting into these relationships. But from what it seems like, Clifton is ready, to try to take that chance and see where it could go with her. So I guess
no, no,
that's
he's not. No, he's
huh?
not.
Yeah, I don't see that
No, he's
either.
not.
I
Yes,
think
he
we might
is.
be in for a curveball next week. That's what I'm
Mm,
thinking.
no,
Clifton,
like Clifton is Cliff. I don't I'm stumbling on words, but Clifton is actually actively taking trips to Mexico to see her, like in present day.
Okay, yeah. Okay. All right then. Well, I could be wrong. Like I said, I'm just thinking. I'm just thinking outside the box. But
And
yeah. But
and
I
and
think ultimately, it's still they filmed the show. I understand they started filming in the fall. It's a
Mhm.
couple of seasons later. We had winter. We're into spring now. But I'm trying to figure long term. I honestly don't see that working. But maybe this is
Mhm.
a contract that she has, and maybe she can get out of it, and then she can come be in the States with him, or he's going to move there. But then I'm thinking about what about the two children that he has? So I
And what
don't
about
know.
his job
And
too?
his job. Well, I don't know for his job if he has the type of job that's portable, because a lot of people today do have jobs that they can work from anywhere in the world. I'm not sure if that's his. I don't really know a whole lot about Clifton and his
He
profession
does.
or what he does.
Clifton is a project manager, which means that he overheads, different type of projects. Now I don't know specifically what type of projects exactly, but it could range anywhere from corporate to engineering or whatever it may be. But like
Mm-hmm.
they had the operations and basically delve out the specific things that people need to do and everything else like that for the clients that they're attached to.
Okay.
and a
And
lot of that is hands on too. A
Well,
lot
I
of
yeah,
was
that
gonna
project
say, yeah,
management.
then that's the kind of job. I know exactly what that is now that you told me what he did. I forgot. But yeah, that's a hands-on job where he has to be on site. So that's what I'm thinking.
hmm
But you
and
guys
how do
want go ahead.
Oh, and how did you guys feel about his family saying that he's a workaholic?
That
Oh, I
yeah,
didn't catch
yeah,
that.
yeah. They did say that, and
Ooh, I didn't
again,
catch that part.
yeah. If
Mhm.
he's a workaholic, she's out of the country. That's a problem. And also,
No,
y'all gotta
really? I
understand.
thought it, I thought it might. I thought that might work actually.
You know what? You know why I don't think it would work, Jeremy?
hmm
Because you have to understand something. Clifton is a very sexual being. I mean, we've learned that all throughout this season, all throughout this Potomac thing. The
hmm
jokes, the innuendos, the hugging, the grabbing, all these different kinds. He's a very physical, intimate, sexual being. Okay.
hmm
I don't see him going 6 months at a time and can't touch his woman or somebody. So I just don't see that. He
Or
gonna touch
somebody's
somebody.
woman.
He gonna touch somebody's woman, So
That could be true. So, but then again, like, and that's why I said it's easier for younger people to be in long distance relationships nowadays because of how creative we are when it comes to those type of things. I was in a long distance relationship before, and what we lacked for physically we had to make up for during FaceTimes. So maybe they could do it that way, but then again I don't know how people that's almost nearing their 50s doing stuff on FaceTime. I don't know how like that would work, so I don't know if
yeah.
they're down for that, but yeah, so let's move on. Now, when the next scene is Sabrina meeting up with Donovan. Donovan, throughout this meeting, basically held her accountable. Basically, told her that he chose Carmen, and then Sabrina was really on the defense. She threw out some insults and things like that. I want to know what you guys felt about that.
Well, early on in the season, um, I felt there were times when with Paul, and with Tori times early on, I think Sabrina handled things seemingly in a mature manner. But as the season went on, she slowly started to deteriorate in how she handled these things because the player started to be exposed. And I think that's what was happening to her. And Donovan basically he said, "Listen, I see you for what you are. You're playing games, and I'm tired of it. So if she's going to sit across from people and tell them, listen, I just see you as a friend. I don't see this going anywhere, and expect for them to maturely take that, and they should, then she has to maturely take her feedback and take her criticism and deal with it. She don't take it well. So she don't believe in what's good for the goose is good for the gander. She just think that she's okay. Everybody, gotta come at her beck and call and all this kind of stuff. And no, Donovan he's tired of it. He called her on it. She didn't like it, and it's too bad because it is what it is. She is who she is. She's been exposed.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. Hold that thought for a second. All
Shout
right.
out to Miss Aubery. She's frying. She baking the chicken. She's doing the soundboards. She can she's streaming live. Like she is multitasking today, y'all. I mean, another round of applause. That's just for the chicken.
That's just for the chicken. And Jeremy, she didn't even give us an invite. Isn't that sad?
Well, I'm on a diet anyway.
Oh my goodness.
So how do you feel about that meetup between Sabrina and Donovan?
How you feel about that, Aubery?
Donovan, you know what? I think you're right. He exposed her. And that's why I said I know this is going to be your week for glory, so I can't wait till you go off on the whole thing. But he exposed her. Mm-hmm. She seems like she was just there. Come to find out, she was just there for a good time, not a long time.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say a good time, because like who out of her connections had a good time? Like she put everybody through hell, So I don't really think that nobody had a good time. Maybe her. She's been torturing these men since since she got on the show. Like I found it quite funny how she was contradicting herself, how she was speaking double standards. She was talking about that. I'm tired of her calling people bitter babies. Like, ma'am, you're almost 40. You need to stop saying that. Like that sounds real childish. Like
well, no, Jeremy. Now that she's being exposed, they're bitter babies. Okay, yeah, that's what it is. That's a defense mechanism.
Right. But the thing I found so funny is that she says that he can't handle her having, multiple connections. But he said that you lack consistency. You say things, but then that doesn't reflect in your actions. And then she said, I took a step back because you had a connection with Carmen and I felt like that was getting really strong. But isn't that a contradiction? Because if you also have a connection with Demetrius that's strong and he's still supposed to pursue you with consistency, why don't you have the need to pursue him even though that he has a connection with Carmen? Like isn't that the same thing? You get what I'm saying? And then on top of that, it wasn't even more so the fact that she had connections with other people. It's a certain way to do it. See, I find it quite funny how the women want to try to stand up for Sabrina, but let a man did this exact same thing that Sabrina's doing, and he will be getting dragged, saying
the clap machine,
playing so many games.
Oh Lord.
And everything else, but when it comes to her, all of a sudden it's okay, and that she just telling these men the truth. No, she's not, because she's not accepting the truth about herself. She wants to divvy out all of these insults, all of these red flags, when she has a whole bag of red flags herself. And when you call her out on it, she wants to turn into a Karen. She wants to say the truth, that you're attacking her, just like, not accepting any type of of responsibility, and I found it really, childish for her to insult his fingernails. And I was like those were the same fingernails, Sabrina, that you said that you wanted to, kind of, sleep with, the first day that you met him. Right. There was those same fingernails. So I was like, it's a difference now since he's telling you about yourself. And honestly, the way that Donovan is treating you is the way that Tori should have been treating you. But see, I don't know why Tori didn't hold you accountable like he should have. It's because you probably manipulated him and made him feel bad. But the way that he's doing this is the way that Tori should have done this as well. If these men had started holding her accountable from the beginning, then this wouldn't have happened. And it's so funny how throughout this episode that Demetrius was smiling when Tori got eliminated, but then that karma came right back around to him later on as we finished talking. Now the next scene is the date between Paul and Dakia, where they catch up about where they're at, about what does the kid think about Carmen? You know, Paul's relationship now with Carmen post blow up and everything else. So what do you like? What did you feel about that, Alex?
I'm over it with Paul grasping at straws with the Kia. Even Tommy knows it, and we'll get into that later at the men's lounge at the end, toward the end. But even Tommy knows that Paul is grasping at straws. He has his eye on Paul. He knows at this point, you know, Paul is kind of full of it. You know what I mean? It's too late in the game now to really try to find a good connection with somebody. They're dealing with who's left. That's it. And I think, in my opinion, and the Kia said this at the meeting with the brother, she said, I still see him. I get friend vibes from Paul. She said that. Okay. So if you're getting friend vibes and you're not getting those butterflies and this is a love connection, whatever, she's gonna dismiss him and in essence dismiss herself. Because that's why I see this going. I don't see a love connection at all. She said that. Nobody act like they heard it. Okay. I heard it clearly what she said. Okay.
All right. What do you feel, Miss Aubery?
I think she was wrong. I think she was wrong for how she treated him, you know. I don't quite
Who you talking about? We talking about Paul and Dakia. Who are you talking about?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm still on the last couple. Okay. Paul and Dakia.
It's that chicken. You watching that chicken.
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying it's that chicken. You distracted by that chicken. It must smell good in there.
It does smell good. The cilantro and lime. It does smell really good. But no, about Dakia and Paul. Well, first of all, I gotta say this, slightly unrelated. Paul, if you happen to be watching, could you slide me your brother's phone number? Because he is fine.
Spell it.
He is fine. Okay. All right. How come he wasn't on the show? Or is he already married? Or what's going on? I need to know the situation about that right now.
And I was like, is it the same father? Is it the same mama? I was like, why the look?
You're wrong. You're wrong for that, Jeremy. You're wrong.
The looks are completely different. I was like, Paul, brother, I don't know. He's the looker. I was like, now, Paul, maybe you got.
Somebody just broke my heart. Oh no, Kellen is married. Oh Lord, have mercy.
Aubery, you avoided my question. I want you to spell foreign. Spell that.
But back to Dakia and Paul. Yeah, they're both kind of stretching, you know. I feel like they're both stretching, but because if Paul had really wanted Dakia, he should have been talking to her and getting to know her all along the process, right? But what I feel about Paul is this: he's the kind of guy, you know, very typical or stereotypical, depending on how you want to view it. He's the kind of older guy, gets to be in his 40s, 50s, and 60s, and he wants to date a much younger woman. He was perfectly happy to be dating Tina, right? Who was like supposedly 31 or 32. We know she's probably a little bit older, but not much. So by definition, with a 13-year age gap, she is a younger woman to Paul's 48 to 50 or whatever he is, right? So I mean that's who Paul is. So it kind of goes back a little bit to what Carmen said last week when she said that, you know, Dakia is not his type. He wants a younger, hotter woman. That's what he wants. So yeah, right. I mean,
oh, why do you keep on saying that? You're gonna make me drag this man all over again.
You know, we see Paul. I mean, that's the state of the world. Older men have always liked younger women, and if they are well adapted enough in terms of their income and their station in life and their status, they can pull a younger babe.
Absolutely, that's right. Because women look for stability, and if they find that stability and they can be well taken care of, they tend to lean toward that. I mean, this is not a shot at their independence or nothing like that. Is what women would prefer.
Well, the only thing that seems stable, like with Paul, are his shoulders, not his finances or anything else of the sort.
I don't
think $60,000 is enough to, like, you know, drop everything and run after Paul. Like I make that much, like with an additional, you know, 15,000 from like, being in the military. So I average about 75. So I was like, does that mean I can have all the young, vibrant things that I want to? Like, absolutely not. Paul needs to stick to the rivers and the lakes that he used to. And like I said in my review, that's Ethel. That's at the slot machine smoking Newports. He does not deserve any type of vibrant thing. He doesn't deserve any of that. Now for Dakia, I'm looking at you very crazy right now because I really did think at this point that you would have been like, you know what, Paul, I appreciate the attempt, but I think it's time for me to go. Everybody is waiting for you to unleash your inner Sabrina point 1, not the point 2. The inner Sabrina that we all like, from the last season. We ready for you to unleash that and take your self-esteem, your dignity with you. You don't want to leave that by the riverside, because if you're gonna sit here and string yourself along with Paul, we all have to look at you crazy. You said that you were gonna be looking at Paul crazy if he's still interested in Carmen, but we're looking at you crazy because you're still interested in him. Now, regardless if Carmen was telling the truth or not, there has to be some type of truth to what he was saying to her, because the way he was like, I didn't say it like that. I didn't say all of that, but you said something to this woman about Dakia or involving Dakia. And I just thought that Dakia would just, cut it off right then and there, because if I can't trust you not to disparage my physicality in front of another woman, then I don't know if I should be with you, if I trust you. And if you want a younger woman, I'm definitely not that. So then what's the motivation here? So
regarding that, what Paul had in his favor is that Carmen's not very trustworthy to Dakia. She don't believe nothing that comes out of Carmen's mouth. Carmen been in attack mode since she got on the show, so she's been attacking everybody to some degree. So because of that, Dakia is saying, listen, on Carmen's own merit, regardless of what Paul says, on Carmen's own merit through her behavior, I don't believe or trust nothing that comes out of her mouth.
I mean, I think it would be a fool to not believe anything that she's saying in regards to Paul. I don't know. Like, I feel like you're forcefully trying not to believe it, but sis, like, come on now, like, let's stop playing these games. Paul is not trustworthy. It's a reason why he waited all the way to the third to last episode to give you the attention that you deserve. In my opinion, I've been thinking that Dakia should have been the front runner of the competition. Like, absolutely. But he waited all of this time to get to know you. Like, so obviously he was not interested in, and the reason could have been because you were older and he didn't view you as attractive. Now, I guess if this is what you want to do, Dakia, I love you, sis. I'm gonna let you do it, but I'm gonna be dragging you as well. I'm sorry. Like, you're gonna be getting dragged too until probably until the reunion, unless you end this next episode. If you choose this man, I'm gonna be looking at you crazy. Now, the next scene that we that came up was,
may I just get a little word in here too, as the lady on the panel. I think that Dakia, while I don't trust Carmen, I personally don't trust her, from what we've seen on the show. And if I were Dakia, because the way she's mistreated Dakia and played on her, but to what you're saying, Jeremy, Dakia absolutely has to put her emotion aside and what she's seen from Carmen and say, you know what? Some of what this lady is saying is true. Now, what percentage, if I'm a scientist, if I'm a mathematician, maybe it's a 75%, 25% deal where 25% where she's used it up to make me feel bad. But a lot of what, Carmen was saying about Paul and his feelings toward the physicality and the lack of, or not being as youthful as what he's used to. Because not that she's not young, but because if you're 60, she's young. But if you're, to him, she's not young, right? So yeah, I just wanted to get that in there. That I think that Dakia is making a mistake by not understanding that some of what Carmen is saying is the truth.
I mean, he's still 10 years older than Dakia.
Yeah, but I'm saying for a man looks at a woman in dog years, and again, a 45, 50-year-old man is looking at a 22, 23, 24, 25. Don't let them get 28 because they too old if they get 28. That's how men think.
It's
You
I
know,
don't
when I was a young woman, I used to meet doctors and lawyers and Indian chiefs, and they all wanted to date me and be involved with me, yada yada yada, because they said that they don't like to date women their age, and that's a fact. That's a fact.
I just
Don't let a man have status or power. He wants a much younger woman.
yeah, he don't want anybody around.
He wants arm candy, the trophy.
But I'm saying, but you're not arm candy.
Yeah.
Who talking about Paul?
Yeah, I'm saying like these men, like unless you're like I don't know. Like I said, I think it's very predatory for older men to be chasing after younger women like that, and I feel like it's not. And I don't feel like it's just because they want a trophy on their hand. They want somebody who's inexperienced, who does not know the game when it's being. Of course
they do.
See, but the thing is that like you said, priests, doctors, lawyers, but I noticed you never said a software analyst. And that's exactly what Paul is. So like I'm saying, if you don't
leave that man alone, Jeremy. Leave that man alone.
If you don't have the wallet, then you should stick to the rivers and the lakes that you used to. You want a young, vibrant thing when you don't have the pockets to support that. She's just gonna cheat on you and go find somebody else. That's exactly what it's gonna be. When older men who don't have the finances go after younger women, the younger women will always end up leaving because like if you don't have like at least a stable foundation of money for them to pull from, then what's keeping them there? It's definitely not going to be because of your looks, because they could find anybody their age that has the looks, or it can't be necessarily. Well, I'm gonna just leave it there.
Well, Aubery, what?
Let's keep it PG-13. I think I know what that next thought was.
Aubery was talking about older men with means. There are a lot of older men with means. Now, Paul may not fit in that category, but there are a lot of older men with means who have much younger wives because they can be kept, and that's just the way it is. And those women want to be kept, So they're like you said, they don't know the game. They're easier to control. They like nice material things. They're very materialistic when they're young like that. And that's what the older guys who have means, they prey on that. They prey on those desires. And they end up with the younger women or the younger wives.
And then who wants to hear Paul rap? A hip, a hop, a hip it to the hip. Like nobody wants to hear that. Like Paul. Like what's going on here?
What you know about that, Jeremy? You weren't even thought of.
He needs to. I don't look. Let's move on, y'all.
What you know about that, Jeremy? Don't get me to rapping old school in here. The Sugar Hill Gang.
Like, please don't. Let's not, y'all. So
moving forward,
the next scene that we're going to be talking about is going to be when Donovan brought the Kia to meet his mom. The mama is what?
No, he brought Carmen.
I mean, yeah. Didn't I say Carmen?
You said the Kia.
I'm sorry. He brought Carmen to see his mom. Now, the mom is a quote unquote wild child, wild woman, which I can completely understand because my mom is also one of those. Me and my mom have actually opposite personas. Like ever since I was a young kid, like my mom always said that she never really had to have that much effort in raising me because I was always very mature for my age. And while my mom, on the other hand, I feel like she has a very young spirit. And that's exactly the type of energy I saw in his mom. And what we ended up finding out is that the mom really did like Carmen. Carmen came in there with her church, with her first Sunday's best. Came in there like those tetherball boobs were definitely covered this time. She came in there dressed like a church mother, to impress this woman. What did you guys feel about the meeting?
Jeremy, just like you just said, the first thing I noticed, which is crazy, I noticed that Carmen came in there with her boobs covered. She came as if she was meeting somebody's mama. or somebody's daddy or grandmom or something like that. She came in saying, regardless of how I am, I'm true to myself, but I also have to be respectful in this regard. And
Absolutely.
so again, Carmen has showed us a few different sides. With Donovan, she's always shown this softer side. She shows a side with Donovan where she can conform. She can allow him to lead and these kind of things. And you didn't see that in Carmen early on. Now I'm not sure if this is really her. We getting tidbits, week to week or whatever. But what we see on screen with Donovan, okay, she kind of melts with Donovan in a lot of ways, and
Yes.
says, if you're going to be my man, from what you're showing me, you can lead. I'll cover my breasts up to meet your mama. I'll come sit with you. I'll be intimate and soft with you. I'll be vulnerable with you. This is what she's doing with Donovan. Okay, and we didn't see this side of her before. We saw this woman who was competitive and going at people and telling people like it is and blah blah blah. But when it comes to Donovan, she's not like that. And I think he's managed to pierce the veil a little bit with Carmen.
Oh, yeah, he piercing her.
Yeah.
Lord. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
What do you feel, Miss Aubery?
Yeah, I think that it was funny because for me, Carmen, I knew she was going to come correctly. Now, one thing about Carmen, I may not care for all of her, how alpha female she is with the women and how she mistreats some of the women. And I think she's a little bit of a bully, like with Dakia. But one thing I knew was that she was going to come correct, because here's the thing. You got to think about also, what does Carmen do for a living? She represents athletes, right? Professional athletes. So she knows exactly when to put her zhuzh on for the guys, for the fellows, and when to dress appropriately for the parent. But here is the thing that I thought was really fascinating. The energies of those two women met head on.
Yes.
Donovan's mother is feisty. Well, when we think about Carmen, Carmen is also feisty.
Right.
Donovan's mother apparently raised him by herself with very little help from his father, as they talked about during that conversation and that date. So now Carmen, she's raising her son with very little help from his father, who she was married to and now divorced from. So a lot of things those women really vibed on. And so it was quite natural, because by the end of the meeting, we saw Donovan's mother asking Carmen for her phone number. Let's exchange phone numbers.
Yeah, she did.
So there was an equal exchange of energy. And so when Donovan's mother met Carmen, she absolutely recognized herself. And I think what actually has happened with Donovan, even though he picked up on Carmen kind of last minute to stay in the game, I think once he got with her, he recognized his mother's energy, which as a child, he's very familiar with that.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that. That's a good point.
They have very similar personas. Donovan,
exactly.
Well, I won't say similar personas, because I feel like Carmen and Laverne were very much alike when it came to a lot of aspects. But I feel that when it comes to, the abrasiveness or the bluntness of who they are, I think that Donovan also matches that. He's very straightforward, very blunt, and he can also make a few cracks as well, because he was roasting Carmen's feet, I believe, a couple episodes ago. They were roasting each other, and I thought that was really, look, if y'all can't roast each other together, then y'all don't need to be together. Anytime I've been in a relationship, I need to know if we start roasting, that you're not going to get your feelings hurt.
Yeah, you know what, Jeremy? Excellent point, because I can't be with a thin-skinned person, because we got to crack on each other back and forth. I don't take life that serious. So we can't crack on each other back and forth and have a good time and not take ourselves too seriously. It's going to be a problem, because I'm going to crack on you. Ain't no question about it.
Yeah, this guy right here, he's from New York. They're all about the cracking.
We gonna get you, you know what I mean? And if you can't take it, forget it, so yeah, that's the environment I come from.
Yeah, so I definitely agree. I don't think that Sabrina would have, like, if he ever tried that with Sabrina wouldn't be like, why are you attacking me? Like, the mama would have probably hated her. The world probably dislikes her. Like, it's a good thing that he chose Carmen. That was God made him a way. You know. So now
A way out of no way.
yes. So now moving on, speaking of Sabrina, she has to sit down with Demetrius. And once again, she's bringing up up a red flag. And my thing is this: if you guys have already talked about it, and he's told you before that, I don't want you to be submissive to me. Like, you could be who you want to be. Like, I never asked to have a submissive woman. Now, I don't know why he didn't correct his friend when his friend said that initially. That probably would have gotten you out of, some of the stuff that you're in now. But honestly, probably not, because Sabrina would have probably found something else to talk about that she didn't like about you. But, she's still talking about this whole submissive thing, and he's said, we've already spoken about this. I don't want you to be be in this. And like I told you guys last episode on the review, I said that now she's setting up her exit. She's trying to call out all of these red flags that she did not care about for the last 8 weeks. Now all of a sudden they're top priority. But it wasn't top priority enough for you to completely abandon Tori, completely, play in Donovan's face while kissing Demetrius, but now, as we've after you really have to decide and choose somebody, now all of a sudden you have all of these things that you're thinking about. So now him and Sabrina are talking, and he's up there, and she's saying, even when it comes to you being a leader, you're just naturally a leader. He's a man, Sabrina. A man is supposed to lead. Now, I'm not saying that women can't also lead in tandem with the man, but I'm saying, are you looking for a man to follow you, to borrow your tampons from? What are you what are you looking for in a man? And then she even says, even when it came to taking your last name, you said a man is supposed to give the wife his last name. I didn't take his last name in our last marriage, and I was like, but you're divorced. Doesn't that tell you? Maybe you should try something new, Sabrina. Maybe something that you've done has not worked out. Once again, obnoxiously not even seeing the full picture and seeing and then she was making it seem taking your husband's last name isn't the norm. Yes, it is. That's why I don't like this whole liberal world. Everybody want to be blobs. Don't nobody want to accept, who they are. Don't nobody want to accept, tradition anymore. And what do you guys feel about this meeting between the two of them?
Well, at your last point, Jeremy, for our traditional marriage and women taking on men's names, and this is for a totally different podcast for another day, but there's just been a movement in this country and possibly even abroad to emasculate men now for a long, long time. And so we're going to save that for another day, but that's been the movement. Okay. So as far as Sabrina goes, I think it's very interesting that she would have these 3 guys tumbling these 3 guys around like a circus juggler, but chased Jeremy. Now, this is the guy she was chasing because he wasn't paying her any mind in the beginning. He sat in the back of the bus like Rosa Parks or whatever. He didn't want to be bothered with her. He sat there, mind his business, and Tori was in love with her, but she chased Demetrius. And then Donovan came on as a curveball, and she liked Donovan, but she chased Demetrius. And she eventually lost Tori, told Tori he was in the friend zone. And then Donovan told her off and cussed her out or whatever. And the one guy that she chased and actively pursued, now she don't want him? What kind of sense does that make? You've been pursuing...
It doesn't make any sense.
None. You've been pursuing this guy all season. And now you're going to sit down. Look, you don't meet my family. That was a deal breaker for me. And then she's going to use the excuse, my father said, once you meet a guy's family, that's it. You guys are moving toward marriage. What does that have to do with just sitting down and meeting folks?
That's when I would have asked her, did she have her father's last name?
Right.
Ooh, touche, Jeremy.
Probably not. Because this carrying the man's last name. Only way I agree with the hyphenating of the last names away from tradition is if the woman made a famous name for herself with her maiden name. Okay, if she's made a name for that, if her maiden name is her brand, then she's going to have to hyphenate that because that's her money. Okay. Other than that, tradition is you take the man's name. But because of this new movement the last 15, 20 years, women don't want to do that anymore. There's too much social media, it's too much this, it's too much that, and too much empowerment, too much all this kind of stuff, which is great. But don't emasculate men in the process, because I definitely ain't going for it. So you can kill that. I'll never be emasculated. That's a wrap, So I think Sabrina tried to do that, and she definitely not doing it with Demetrius. Okay. But I think that was the easy way out, because I think deep down inside, she knew Demetrius really didn't want her either.
I actually disagree. I think that in this episode, we saw a lot of effort from Demetrius.
Yeah,
I feel like this
I
episode.
disagree too.
Yeah, I feel like in this episode, Demetrius was really showing us that he really did have, interest in Sabrina. I think we might have been wrong. I think as soon as Sabrina actually got her mission accomplished, where he wants her to meet his family, where he's willing to, to compromise with her, like she's been begging him to do, like, throughout this whole thing. She's like, I accomplished the mission, so now I'm just gonna, like,
What was the mission?
To get him to chase after her.
Just like some men, it's an ego boost. Sometimes it's about the challenge. So she used it as him as a challenge, and then when she saw she had reeled him in like a fish, she threw him back out into the water. She didn't really want him. She just wanted to know. She just needed to know that he wanted her.
Exactly. So now, you guys, he invites her to meet his family. She says no to meeting the family. Right. Now tell me what y'all thought about that.
No, she'd have been done right there with me. It would have been a wrap right there. There would not have been a final dinner date or nothing. She wouldn't have had a chance to dismiss me and tell me, oh, I don't think this is going to work, blah, blah, blah. Because soon as you say to me, I don't want to meet your family, that tells me right there what you think of me. You're not willing to take that extra step. And don't use your father as an excuse, because I don't want to hear it. That's a bunch of BS, a bunch of bull. You didn't want to take that step because you were never serious about me in the first place. And I can agree, she enjoyed the chase. That's what turned her on.
Yeah, that's all I have to say to it. Is just what I said. She wanted people to run after her, which in the beginning, now I'm gonna be fair and stay true to what I said earlier, this season, at least anyway. I think, I'm just this kind of gal. So like he talks about tradition and he wanted her to take his name, or whoever he marries to take his name. Okay, that's fair. The other side of that coin, though, is that in a relationship and when we're dating and just meeting, then I expect you to do the pursuing, sir. And, it seemed like Demetrius was a little slow on the draw with that. But in this instance, in this situation, we see that Sabrina literally did not want any of these fellows. She just wanted to be on the show for whatever reason and feed her ego, it seems like. I mean, I don't really know, because I've heard what they pay these people, so it's definitely not for the money.
But Aubery, in today's times, with the proliferation of technology, social media, so forth, with the numbers where women compared to men, you take a place like Atlanta, where we heard is 17 women to every one guy. In these kind of with these kind of numbers, a lot of women are pursuing. There's a lot of competition to pursue in these relationships from women, and the fact that they're very successful, they're quote unquote boss chicks and so forth. Right. They have all, the traits that they need to be pursuers, because they got a good life. A lot of them don't need a man for his money. They don't need his car. They don't need his house, because they got all that already. Okay, right. They got all that. They want a companion, and they're willing to pursue and compete, because people are in everybody's DMs. They're in your Facebook messengers. They're all over the place pursuing these guys, and guys are just sitting back, basically with the pick of the litter.
They're sitting back in the cut. Well, that's fine. I'm just saying for me. So the guy that I would end up in a relationship with is not going to be the guy that's sitting back in the cut like the way Demetrius sat back in the cut. I told you all along, I didn't think that Demetrius was an alpha male. And I stand by that. But I mean, to each his own. All I can say is I'm never going to be with somebody that sits back in the cut. That's not who the man that God created for me. As Jeremy pointed out, men were created to be leaders, but not every man is a leader and not every man has a vision. So I understand that also. So just because you have a penis doesn't mean you're a leader.
No, absolutely not. I agree with that.
That is true. And speaking of penises, there were two of them in this next scene. It was Paul and his brother. And Paul.
Nice segue there.
Yeah. Paul is introducing his brother to Dakia. Now,
fine, brother man. Woo,
I'm gonna let you go first, Miss Aubery. What did you feel about that conversation that Dakia had with the brother?
I think, like I said, like some people have already mentioned, I think it's kind of time for Dakia because she's such a classy lady. I really like and respect the person that I've seen on the screen for all these weeks, named Dakia. I think it's time for her to just go ahead and, like you said, do a Sabrina 1.0 and just walk away. There's nobody there for her. Her man is not there. And that's okay. There's no shame in that. It has nothing to do with her readiness. It has nothing to do with her vitality, her beauty, or anything like that. It just has to do with her man is not there.
Right.
Her man is unfortunately just not there.
It would have been so funny if she hooked up with Carmen's ex. Because they actually would make a cute couple to me, Carmen's ex and
Mr. Zaddy, Mr. Another fine man. Oh, he was fine too. Yeah, Mr. Zaddy, he was on point.
And he actually looks like he's in Dakia's age range. Like Dakia, I know you said that you're 39, but I think I don't know if it's the own networks that causes you guys to age in dog years, but she kind of looks a little bit older than than what she actually is. Not saying that she's not pretty because she's beautiful. It's just that she looks more mature than 39.
I think part of it also is the fact that Jeremy, wouldn't you agree though? Part of it is the way she dresses for the show. Because when you go to her and I don't know if you went to her IG page, but when she dresses for the show very professionally, and I get that she works for NASA and there's a lot of, it's a contract, it's a government job, blah, blah, blah. So I have a girlfriend like that, and they have to be very careful about how they carry themselves. So I think a lot of it is just the fact that she is in the position that she's in. I don't think that she's much over 39. I think she is over 39, like maybe 42, 41, but I don't think she's very much over it. But yeah, I do like her and Zaddy, though, to get back to what you were saying.
All right. And what did you feel about the meeting, Alex?
Well, Paul's brother said something that was very interesting. And he said in Paul's previous relationships, he has a tendency of going the extra mile or staying too long, right? And then Paul chimed in and said, yeah, I'll stay, hoping things turn around and get better because they'll show me something and I think it's going to get better. And I hang in there only to get, my heart broken or get disappointed or whatever, And apparently this has been his history, and his brother doesn't want him to continue on that path. And I think in hearing that, to be honest, I think that's when Dakia right after that said, I really feel the friend zone with Paul. I really can't get past this friendship feeling with him. And I think in her saying that kind of set the tone right there that this is not going to be a love connection, or it's not a love connection.
Yeah, and on top of that, she's just not attracted to him either. It's okay, Dakia, you can say it. I think America would agree with you, and like I was telling y'all earlier, when you don't have the bank account to match, but you trying to go after these young, vibrant things, you get your heart broke. And that's what I was trying to say earlier. He wants to go after these young, hot, vibrant women when he does not have the necessary looks to pull that off to keep them there. And he doesn't have the money to keep them there. And when it comes to the physicality of intimacy, the way that these young kids out here are like, and I'm one, the way that, you know, we're out here, you know, being intimate is giving very much experience. So you can get that with somebody your own age. So it's not like, you know, back in the 90s when all of the older people knew how to, you know, get it cracking, and the young people were just trying to figure the things out. With the much advances that we have in, you know, with technology and stuff like that, it's just like, Paul, you're always gonna be last place until you date. Like, so I'm telling you, Ethel is waiting at the slot machine. She waiting for you. Get your woman.
Ethel.
Like, get your woman.
Ethel, Ernestine, you know.
Yep. Geraldine.
Yeah, Geraldine.
Yep. Modessa.
Oh my goodness, these names, man. These old
Gladys,
country names.
Patty,
yeah, Gladys.
Aretha.
Yeah, these old country names.
you know, like,
you know what's an old name, Jeremy? Adelaide. Ooh, Adelaide.
Adelaide.
That's an old name, Miss Adelaide. Woo.
I never met one of those.
That's how old it is.
Oh.
He's right. That's a real old name.
Oh my goodness.
Mildred.
Yeah.
That was my great grandmama name.
Oh,
so now we're at the scene to where they're back at the men's lounge, and now they have to basically, you know, really make their decisions concrete on who they wanted to choose. Demetrius let everybody know that Sabrina did not meet his family, that she did not want to meet his family. And then, you know, everybody looking at him like, what? That's crazy. and Tommy is like, you don't think that's like, you know, think that's kind of a alert, you know? But now, you know, since Sabrina has finally got that potion to work and kick in, his nose is wide open and he's acting like he cannot also see the red flags that are Sabrina. You know, so he's like, no, you know, I just figured that she needs time. Tommy looking at him like he crazy. Clifton looking at him like he crazy. My mama was probably looking at him like he was. I was looking at him like he was. Jesus was looking at him like he was crazy. Everybody was looking at Demetrius like, what is wrong? Don't you see that there's an issue here? And then we ended up talking about how great the meetup was with Clifton and his family, even though he has a lot of things to think about when it comes to the whole 6 months thing. Then Donovan let us know that he had a great time meeting with his mom, meeting Carmen, and they like really hit it off. And when your mama really friends somebody, it's like if you don't choose her, your mama is not gonna respect any woman thereafter, because she's always gonna say, but they not this person, you know. So if you don't choose her, don't think that your mom is gonna like the next woman that you bring her way. If she really liked this one and it doesn't work out, because your mom will always be saying, you should have chose that such and such girl. You should have chose that person. But what did you guys think about the men's lounge?
Well, one of the things that stood out to me in the men's lounge is that Tommy, you know, told Paul, I'm watching you. You know, I think Tommy has a level of distrust for Paul at this level of the process, you know, and I think he think Paul just trying to hang in there and that there's no real love connection with the Kia. And Tommy got something up his sleeve as though a curveball this late in the game, because the next episode I think is the last episode. So, and I think for Tommy to look at Paul and go, I'm watching you, that tells me there's some kind of level of distrust there, you know. And also with the Demetrius, everybody looking at him like he's crazy because Sabrina didn't meet his family. That's the deal breaker. That's the point you have to say. I mean, everyone else met with family except her. So how did that supposed to make him feel? So at that point, I'm like, I'm done. I would have ghosted her like Tina did everybody. I would have ghosted her, you know, right. and shot down her ego, because for her, this is an ego play. You know, it's like when you're in high school, and I've experienced this in high school. You know, you got the real pretty girl that you know everybody's chasing. They're trying to put their dibs in, but she wants the guy that's not chasing her. She wants the cool guy. He sit back, he be like, not, and she wondering why, if all these guys want me, why don't he? So that makes him more interesting. It's the mystery that makes these guys more interesting. And that's what Demetrius had in the beginning, that mystery. He's not talking to her much. He's not interacting with her much. Tori was chasing. So it made Demetrius more Demetrius more interesting to her. It's always the mystery that's more appealing, you know. And I think that when Demetrius now got blindsided with this BS from Sabrina, then I think he kind of threw him for such a loop, because he like, she can't be doing this now. I'm going to sit down and talk to her. Like, she can't, because she can't. This can't be happening now. I think he was probably in a moment of disbelief, you know. And when she was walking into the restaurant at the meeting with Demetrius, I just thought about Jeremy, because they had the camera.
Wait! Do not jump ahead. You cannot jump ahead.
No, oh, okay. I just thought about
ahead.
you with that. When she met with him. Stick with the plan.
See, you see what I have to deal with, Jeremy? Thank you, Jeremy.
Stick with the plan. But
okay, so
but yeah, I'm kind of done with the men's lounge. Those are the things that really stood out to me. Clifton and Joy. Well, Clifton, you know, basically said that none of that surprised me.
Yeah, I thought I've been noticing that, you know, Tommy has always, like, I don't think he's ever really trusted Paul or really liked Paul that much. He always picks on Paul the most. You know, Paul's trust with Tommy is just as wrinkled as those suits that he wears to the men's lounge. It's never ironed. It's never straightened. It's never, you know, it ain't never a good quality or grade. You know what I'm saying? So I can definitely see that. But speaking of BS from Sabrina and Demetrius go out for a date. Well, Demetrius invites her out for a date. Sabrina comes in, and like I told y'all, one of them little cocktail dresses, you know, and they start out having the small talk, you know, and everything else like that. And then Sabrina basically tells him, and I think it was because Sabrina thought that he was going to tell her that she was not ready. But Sabrina was like, oh no, I'm going to beat you to the punch. She told this man flat out, I think you're a good man. I just don't think that you're the man for me. Said it just like that. After all this time,
all of a sudden,
you now decide that this man is not for you. Mind you, at this point, Demetrius looks broken. And mind you, Sabrina looks like she just absorbed the last of his, you know, because I think Sabrina is like one of those. Have y'all ever watched Hocus Pocus?
No, I never watched that.
No,
I haven't. If you ever watched Hocus Pocus, it was 3 witches. They gave this potion to a child, and like when the child drank it, her life force started exuberating off her body, and they would just, like, you know, slurp it away, and, you know, like just take her life force. After, you know, Sabrina got done, you know, absorbing all of his life force and left him high and dry, she seemed very much pleased. She didn't seem saddened by this decision. She didn't seem hurt by this decision. You know, she tried to make it seem like it hurt her, you know, even though Demetrius makes my heart swell. I was like, you don't have a heart, Sabrina.
Right.
You don't have a heart. I was like, this woman, y'all, I do not like her. And just let me be clear. It's only on the show. Outside of the show, I don't know her. She could be a lovely lady. I don't know. I'm just talking about within the realm of Ready to Love. I do not like Sabrina. And so Sabrina ends up basically, you know, telling Demetrius it's a wrap for him. Demetrius looks completely broken. You know, Sabrina's looking very much proud of herself, like she accomplished the task of breaking once again a whole nother guy on the cast. You know, because she was like, you know, I'm trying to break at least 3 men before I leave. If I can't do that, it's going to be an issue. So, what do you feel? What do both of you feel? Go like,
Lord
go ahead.
have mercy. Listen, I don't feel no ways tied. Who in the hell left the gate open and let the devil in? Because that's what happened with Sabrina. Who the hell let her in to do all this manipulation, destroying, backstabbing. Oh, I mean, everything she's done been straight out of left field. It's unbelievable. None of her behavior makes any sense. None of it makes sense.
It doesn't.
But what I was going to say to you earlier,
it doesn't.
When I was going to say to you earlier, when they showed her walking into the restaurant, the reason why I thought of Jeremy, because when they had the camera at her back, she was all head and shoulders. So I said, Jeremy, I was like, where's her neck? So Jeremy always talking about, yeah, same place, Paul.
You know, like God was very sparing when it came to the neck area when it came to those two people.
I'm like, this is unbelievable. I said, where's Jeremy when you need him? Where's her neck?
Where's her? Wait a minute, I missed something. Where's whose neck?
When Sabrina was walking into the restaurant to meet Demetrius at the end, they had the camera at her back as she was walking, and she was all head and shoulders, right? And I just thought about Jeremy because he always talking about her shoulders and everything. And I was like, where's her neck? You know?
oh yeah, he does always talk about her shoulders being. How do you describe it, Jeremy, about Sabrina's shoulders?
I feel like her shoulders touches her ears. Like it's you know, they like it's like this. Like that's how she walks around like this.
Yeah.
You know, it's like her and Paul. They have matching shoulders.
I just think that, you know, she was there for the games. Yeah, she really was there for the game. And I think Tori dodged the bullet. I really think he dodged the bullet. You know, because he's naturally a nice guy. And I think he really liked her. Right. And sometimes we don't know what's best for us. And the universe and the gods, they will intervene and come and listen. That ain't the one. We're going to do something, you know, to make you see that's not the one, even if it hurts, you know. And that's what happened. That's what happened with Tori. Somebody had to get him away from her because toxic, just toxic. Because how you going to chase somebody for a whole damn season, then get what you want and sit down and go, you're not the one for me? What kind of sense does that make?
You know what? I got to jump in here. Someone in the chat says, Kenya says that she got that line, "You're not my person." It sounds like something from The Bachelorette. That's the phrase they use. She's watched those shows. Could that be possible, guys?
Very.
Maybe so.
Very.
But I just want to say one thing. Demetrius, while you're on the way home, with your heart broken, your face cracked, and yourself embarrassed, I want you to take a good look at yourself and really smile, because that same smile that you had when Tori got sent home is the same smile that you should have while you're on your way home without Sabrina.
Oh my goodness.
So she gave you that same energy, and I hope that it tickled you just as much as it did when you thought that it was funny when Tori got sent home. So that's really it. Yeah, that's how the episode ended, y'all.
Keep that same energy. That's right. Keep that same energy.
KTSE.
That's it.
I hope you guys enjoyed me leading the panel today. I hope I was a little bit more detailed about it. I try not to miss anything. I don't think I did.
No, you didn't. I don't think you missed anything.
Very thorough, and you didn't allow Alex to take you off your square, so that was very good. Alex has his own sound effect machine over there. Guys, I just want to remind you, speaking of Tori, so Tori has kind of become like a cult fan favorite from Ready to Love. Tori will be sitting down with Alex and I on where's my calendar? Hold on.
Yeah.
He will be sitting down with us on Thursday, April the 21st. I'm not sure the time. You can look at the thumbnail, guys, but he'll be sitting down with us live. So be sure you catch that.
I'm looking forward to this one. We've got
a surprise RTL alum that'll be also coming next week, the day before on Wednesday, the 20th. So we've got quite a week packed, and we've got more guests coming. So just stay tuned, guys. Thank you guys for joining us today, for subscribing, for liking this video. You guys have liked the video already, right? Those of you in the chat and those of you watching at home, please like the video. It really helps with the algorithm. It's a free way to support my channel. It's like free 99 cents. So, really appreciate it. Oh, there's Kia Simone, the graphic designer for many of these thumbnails, because she's so wonderful. So catch her. I have her. Jeremy, I finally figured out how to tag you, how to put you in the description. So I've been working on that. So give me a minute, and I'll have you in all the videos that you're in. Okay. And
okay.
So guys, I just want to thank you so much for being here. Tori is cool, and he'll be here on Thursday evening. So first home tuber, make sure you check in, you come and jump in the chats. Okay. I think, is there anything else? Jeremy, tell them where they can find you here on the YouTube streets until I can get all that put on in the description.
Like, you can find me at Jeremy Speaks. Actually, right after this, I'm about to, and I already fed the dog, so like I ain't even got to take a break. So I'm about to go right after this. I'm about to go right into I like to call it my uncut version of the Ready to Love review, because it gets a little wild in there.
It gets a little raunchy. Get a little raunchy.
Well, I wouldn't say raunchy. Like, that's like,
it's not raunchy. It's just the language would maybe be not PG-13.
Suggestive language.
Yes.
Yes. Like, raunchy is like, like them corn, like what you find on Cornhub. Like, I ain't trying to. I don't know. But yeah, my channel name is Jeremy Speaks. I will be going live literally right after this. So it looked like I'm going live earlier than I anticipated. I thought I was going to be going live at 9, but I'm going to be going live at 8:20 seems that. So please make your way over there after this is completed. It's going to be Jeremy Speaks. I tried to put a link in the chat for y'all, but I think that the links are disabled when you are trying to put them in the YouTube comments.
Let's see. Wait a minute. Who's in the Kia is a moderator. Kia, is there any way you could grab his channel link at all? Kia. Okay. Well, here I put it up on the screen. This is the name of his channel. Name is Jeremy Speaks, as you see there on the screen. We're gonna go over and raid Jeremy's channel, right, guys? Give him all the support. Come over and subscribe, like the video, and let him do his thing. Because just those of you that know, it's not PG-13, but it's very, very good, right? Okay. Right. Okay, guys.
But just to alert y'all, I'm gonna try to be a little bit more pulled back this time, because last time I think I got a little bit too off the chain. So I want to be a little bit more thoughtful of people's feelings.
You're gonna have somewhat of a leash on this time. That's what it is.
Yeah, because I really did attack. I viciously attacked Paul in my last review. It was pretty bad. So yeah, you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Look at me. It's not my job to close this out. I'm sorry.
You were doing so well, but just say your goodbye if you'd like to, Jeremy. Go ahead.
See y'all later. It's been real. Like I told y'all beforehand, God has given me a good discernment. I'm able to see right through people very easily. So be listening to me when I be trying to tell y'all about these people on these TV shows. Y'all gonna learn to listen to me.
We gonna learn, and he'll be back next week with me, Jeremy, because Alex will be with the family for the holiday and for visits and whatnot. So Jeremy, is that okay? Would you be able to come back with me next Saturday?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Guys, we're out of here. We're out.
All right.